Hello my friends, I'm here today at La Ronde, and yeah, everybody's sticking to French. I thought we were gonna get a lot of bonjour, hello, so you can like pick, basically, you respond either bonjour if you want to proceed in French or hello, but none of that. There's no time to waste, they just stick with French. They kind of rope drop here apparently, so there's a nice little crowd headed over towards the BM invert Vampire. Gonna start heading that way, but you really don't hear too much about this park, at least in like the circle of social media and stuff. And it makes sense because they don't allow nice cameras in here, it's just the phones. So I mean, they probably don't get really cool photos, even though I see some cool stuff with the lake and all of that stuff. But anyway, let's go explore La Ronde. Now of course the one thing to know about here is that this park kind of started in '67 as something completely separate. There was a big expo happening, which is, I connected it recently, where the Montreal Expos got their name. And this cool like butterfly looking thing over here is what you see as soon as you open the park, including it, and then you know you have the water features and such. We're gonna start heading on over this way towards Vampire, or Le Vampire, I don't know. My French stinks. I speak Spanish, guys. Now they do have an emporium. There's not too much in there other than like plushes, mostly kid stuff, and La Ronde branded stuff. But I didn't see any coaster stuff, which is a bummer. That is a very fast coaster, and it's still surprisingly smooth. I don't know, these B&M inverts, something about them. Most of them are surprisingly smooth. Nothing will top, you know, Talon over at Dorney, but still, this fast, smooth. And the other thing, unrelated to how it was running, it was a great way to start the day. There were spider webs throughout the queue, and I was the first one in line, the very first one. And there were people behind me just waiting for me to like get like they were on the poles across the queue, so I was like going on the edges of the poles and like just kind of trying to like collapse it so we could get through. But oh man, I feel, you know that feeling when you feel like there's spider web on you or something, like so I guess that whole area back there was just kind of a dead end. Don't tell me, I didn't look at a map really except for when I was entering, and I think this park doesn't go in a circle. So it was a pretty unremarkable coaster. I'm not waiting for another dispatch to get a clip of it, but I did see right next door is a circle here. So shout out to Coaster Angela and her cult. That's not really a cult. So this is so impressive looking. This is Monster. 2 tracks, huge. My goodness. And then speaking of huge, over here we got, is that a Brachiosaurus? Whoa, is this from like Dinosaurs Alive or something? They got 3 animatronics just chilling here. And I know that the kids area, they have 2 kids area with 2 distinct themes. Actually, now that I think of it, Dino Park does have a family coaster. Oh wow, okay. They got the music, they have a splash pad. All right, good theming, cute little rides. The little Dino Safari is where the animatronics came into play. Trying to avoid getting too many people into the shot though. They have statues, they have some sort of sketchy underground area you can explore. They have dinos hatching, it's just like Jurassic Park. Oh, this is pretty cool. What? A little exploring boat slash lazy river looking thing. And a gigantic animatronic in the middle. And then beyond that is the family coaster. Looks like I'm behind a stage right now and there's a show happening with some sort of guy. Who is that guy? Hold on. Who that guy? Oh, he's gone. Like, what the heck? That looks amazing, and it's just there as part of like the ambiance. But over here is the coaster that we want. I'm just gonna translate it for you so I don't butcher it. It's the March of the Millipede. Is an Arrow mini mine train. I've never heard of a mini version of the mine trains that we love, but the layout is really cool, and look how like well themed it is that the track goes around here like this. Then here is a sort of bobsled themed Wild Mouse, the name of which is escaping me right now, but it is very much that old school Zamperla style. So here's the entrance, and it's called Toboggan Nordique. and it was built actually kind of recently. I know a lot of bobsled themed stuff was named after like or was opened around the time that the Olympics, the Winter Olympics came. So I don't exactly have a review for the Zamperla Wild Mouse. I'm sure anybody watching this knows of them. It pretty much rode like every single one of them. But we're now looking at the entrance to Montreal. The Wendigo in the front is friggin' amazing. It's massive too. I don't think the wide angle lens that I'm using here is doing it justice. So I just got done with both sides of Montreal and I have thoughts. Number one, and this is just kind of in general, the ops are kind of slow, but they're doing as well as they can. I'm surprised that the trains are as short as they are. That's a big one. Number two, the fast pass only goes over to track 2 while the disability access goes to track 1. The layout it's rough. It's rough, and I've never experienced laterals to where the whole train was almost completely lateral. I watch a POV of this because it's insane how like to the side it gets. The other thing I should have mentioned is that a lot of people are saying that this coaster should get RMC'd. I don't know about that. This park hasn't gotten any love in like 15 years or so. I think Goliath in 2006 was the most recent one. They had Green Lantern coming over from Magic Mountain, which was considered one of the worst of that free spinning like 4D type of roller coasters. And then during the pandemic, they just canceled it. So yeah, I don't know how realistic that is, but I do think a really cool dueling coaster could come out of Montreal, but I highly doubt it. One thing I noticed, I was looking around here for a store of some kind that might have some merch for it, like even a shirt or a hat or anything, or even a plush Wendigo. That would have been cool for my collection. I don't even know if this park has a mascot because I don't see Looney Tunes on any of the branding. However, yeah, this is definitely considered one of the bigger and I don't know, more marquee roller coasters for this park. And now we're in this very interesting little like medieval area, and now we're heading to Le Tac. I don't know what Aenol means. I think that might be another cryptid. Yeah, I'm getting Loch Ness Monster vibes here. Yeah, okay. So some sort of cryptid type thing. Is that what's going on here? Anybody who knows, please let me know. I didn't look into the lore of the different rides. I didn't expect random heavy theming out of nowhere. But I know this is just an SLC, and you know, I can say I drove 6 hours to have an SLC on the credit count, but it's still so cool to be able to get this close to the coasters like I did at Six Flags America. Only the big difference there is that I was able to use my professional camera. So it was only a 1 train wait, not bad. Went on, got thrown around, and called it good. This area is kind of like, where did this come from? I feel like I see this all the time at parks that are a little bit older, is that they had some sort of like storybook type of thing going on, and then they expanded it, lost the theming, lost the cohesion, and then there's just like pockets of it in the park. And now we've arrived here at Dragon, which is basically Canadian Skull Mountain. It's got some heavy theming from what I hear. To my surprise, I just got done with Dragon. It took about an hour to get on because there is one person. There's a 1-person crew manning this. I cannot. That poor person. I will say though, the theming was actually really good. Like, there were dragons in there all over the place. I feel like it could use a more exciting name because Dragon is kind of generic. But either way, they tried something, and I think for like kids and stuff, as a family coaster, to get you excited about riding coasters in general, that bit of theming goes a long way. So I've checked out all of the different merchandise stands that they have around here, and there hasn't been anything related to the roller coasters. Just the Ronde 67, harkening back to the expo, and that's it. Just got to share that this swing is pretty awesome. They've been playing some pretty cool music. They cue it up just as things are starting, and it works. It's a vibe. It probably is really cool at night, which I'm not planning on hanging around for. Here comes Goliath though, last coaster in the park. So I'm not sure where exactly you get better views of this, but here it is. It reminds me of like a bit of Nitro and a bit of Apollo's Chariot. because it only has a turnaround rather than having like a helix of any kind. But it has a lot of airtime. I rode it in the back twice, and yeah, it was only like a few trains weight. So this is definitely like the heavy hitter at the park. This is the big one. I don't know if there's anybody here who's a Montreal stan, but at the Ronde, I feel like they need something that matches this energy, and they'll be well on their way, like a launch coaster or something. There's so many fun, smaller footprint coasters that could fit here, but I'm happy that this is here, this big, giant B&M Hyper out and back. They're not as big as the ones at Cedar Point, I'm afraid. They are pretty loud, though. They're pretty dang loud. Check out this view, though. You're gonna want to chill here for a bit and lament that I don't have my zoom lens for any of this. So, number one, the park is kind of a mishmash. It feels like, other than like that slightly medieval area where Dragon and Latique is, or Latak, I'm sorry, where that's at, and then the kids area with the dinos, there's not like strong theming around. It feels very disjointed, weird dead ends, weird layout. Doesn't feel cohesive. Feels like they need to do what Kings Dominion has been doing and Kings Island has been doing, and like take a small area and just renovate them. And then the coaster lineup, they should get some sort of launch in here. They should get a more modern wooden gravity group style something or another in here. Like that would be a cool, like a kiddie family Woody type of thing. Honestly, I'm really curious to see what, maybe I should look up some Google reviews or something of what like the perception is of this park, because the basis of comparison, it's like, where, if you're in Montreal, where else are you going other than Canada's Wonderland? So anyway, that's been kind of my experience here. Please ask, I probably left out something. If you've been up here, please let me know what your experience has been. If it's your local park, please let me know. I tried to prepare my best to not be a typical American tourist, and I think I kind of fell flat on my face with that one, but I still had a lot of fun, as much fun as I could have here. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you go make your own adventure. Bye.